welcome back to the second episode of the Game Managers Podcast. If you listen to the first one, or if you're here for the second one, whatever, thank you for listening.
Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, welcome. That's my co-host Justin. We're here also with our co-host Aaron, and I'm Nick.
Hello.
Yeah, and I'm Justin, as he said.
Yep, that's Justin. Aaron's an Alabama fan, Justin's an Auburn fan, and I try to stay neutral on this.
Neutral?
We need a neutral voice on here.
All right.
Is that fair?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, good. So we're going to start out with a little bit of news, I guess. We'll go through a few of the games today, the SEC, but we're mostly just going to talk about Alabama and Auburn today. Try to stay a little bit better on track because last week we were all over the place and it went for 2 hours.
We were talking about a restaurant for, 30 minutes?
Yeah, probably at least. Yeah. So we're going to try to stay on track this time. And so we're just going to start out going over the games that did happen today and their outcomes. So we're just going to get down the list here. Georgia spanked Arkansas State 55-0. Not much to say there.
I do have to say, though, it was a great job by the fans there to do the pink out for Arkansas State's coach.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
I saw that on Twitter. I didn't actually get to watch that game. I didn't get to watch most of these games, but that was pretty cool. So then we got Kansas State came up and beat Mississippi State.
You know, me and Nick picked this.
Yes, in our SEC pool, me and Justin got a point on this. Nobody else did. Kansas State won 31-24.
The only reason I did not pick it is because it was only a 1-point game. It was only a 1-point difference, so there wasn't that much risk reward for me.
Yeah,
No.
And I really thought the heat would be a factor.
Yeah,
but Kansas State absolutely manhandled them on both sides of the ball for the entire game.
They really did.
Mississippi State's defense looked pretty bad. They got punched in the mouth.
They sure did. Yeah. Speaking of getting punched in the mouth, Tennessee punched someone in the mouth for the first time in a long time. 45-0 over Chattanooga. We got Ole Miss beating. What is that? Is that Southeastern Louisiana? Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Is that
They beat them by 11.
Yeah, and that last score came late in the game. It shouldn't have been by 11.
Yeah.
That was an ugly win. A lot of ugly wins across the SEC today.
And just to think that Arkansas lost to this team last week, Ole Miss.
Yeah. Arkansas, though, today wins 55-34 over Colorado State. It's another one me and Justin had picked for the underdog, and we got wrong. So it just negated that one win.
Colorado State was with Arkansas for the majority of the game.
Yeah, and was ahead of them for a lot of the game, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arkansas pulled away late.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see much of that Ole Miss game, but I didn't know it was that close. I didn't expect it to be that close, but
no.
Yeah.
The back half of the SEC keeps continuing to prove
they still suck.
Worse than most people think.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of the SEC that's not pulling their weight.
For instance, let's see, where's it at? Oh, never mind. You'll go ahead because I can't find it.
So Texas A&M beats Lamar 62-3. LSU, LSU wins 65-14 over Northwestern State.
Mm.
Missouri wins 50-0 over Southeast Missouri State.
Mm.
And then the one that wrapped up just shortly ago that Aaron got worked up on.
Oh, man.
Florida comes back to beat Kentucky 29-21.
It was they went on a 19-0 unanswered right there because Kentucky was up 21-10.
Unreal, but I called it, man. As soon as I'm not a big Felipe Franks fan. I think he's possibly the worst quarterback, definitely in the SEC in my opinion. One of the worst in the nation. I've never understood how he was able to start for that team, how they didn't have anyone better. And I always thought they did. And as soon as he went out, I got scared because he went out. I knew I had never heard of their backup before in my life, and I knew he had to offer more than Felipe Franks did. I'm not sure how Felipe's made it this long, but I was right. They came out and he dealt it. It wasn't just running and him handing it off, he slung it. He came out slinging. I think he only went like 3 incomplete passes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
only 4.
Only
He was
4?
9 of 13.
You got his stats pulled up? 9 of 13?
Yeah, 126 yards, and his QBR was 86. So he came in and did his job.
Yeah, definitely. He brought him back and then won it for them. So good for him. But bad for Aaron, who was the only person in the SEC pool to pick Kentucky.
Tough pick.
And, they were up 11 at home going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. There's a lot of people
with the ball. They just got the ball. When Felipe went out, that was a 4th down that they didn't get, and then Kentucky had the ball. And then, I don't know why, they went for it on 4th and 1, that drive, I think. And I don't know why you don't either punt it and pin them deep or kick the field goal and get the points. I don't get it, but, yeah, that game's pretty aggravating because I don't see how they lose that game, but they sure found a way.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Florida scored all 19 of their points in the fourth quarter to come back.
Yes, they did.
This Florida team is not what we thought they were going to be, though. And I thought that maybe they just got off to a rough start against Miami, but...
That's still just showing their true colors.
Yeah, I think so. So next week...
Honestly, I still believe Miami's a better team than most people think. They just got whooped twice, and now there's no point in them playing.
Yeah,
they have nothing to play for anymore, and I think Kentucky had a lot to play for, and I think Florida's better without Felipe Franks. I think it was, I don't necessarily wish the guy to get hurt, but I think for them it was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, just all this hype Felipe Franks has got kind of, like you said, surprises me too. He was the big talk of the SEC quarterback this year. He's going to be the most improved.
And I thought he was at first, and he quickly went back to his old ways.
Yeah, and hopefully, the injury, I don't know what the injury is or what the word on it is. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but regardless, I don't think that he comes back to start next week.
It was a leg injury, so you never know with that.
But even if he's
healthy, I don't see how Dan can start him. I didn't see how Dan could start him in the first place. I definitely don't understand how he could come back and start over the performance that their backup gave.
Well, they play Tennessee next week, so it should give them a little bit of a rester there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna this week we're trying to stay a little more on topic. So we got a few new what's the word?
Stories?
Not stories.
Topics?
Sure. That's not the word I'm looking for, but it doesn't matter.
I mean, topic sounds good.
Okay. Well, that's what we're going to do because we have here Twitter news with Aaron Patterson.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, my first story was, about what Tebow said during the week.
Oh, yeah.
You got the tweet?
It's a recording of what he said in regards to payers getting compensation in California now.
Okay.
And I was kind of surprised by his answer. He goes on to talk about how that's the difference between the NFL and college, and that's why college stadiums are bigger than NFL is because guys play for each other and for the school and not for their own personal gain. And in a way, I agree, but I'm not sure that I have a stance on one way or the other because I definitely understand how kids like Josh Jacobs need something out of all their hard work because some kids just come from nothing and they could really use it.
Yeah, I guess this is me and Nick kind of disagree on this. But here's, I guess, where I would put it. If they were going to be paid, I'd be fine if they got paid through the jersey sales and, sponsorships. But I don't want them getting paid just to be playing football because they can get paid if they're good enough to go to the NFL. That's just kind of my take on it.
Yeah, and I think that's fair, but also the NCAA is constantly making money off of these kids and not letting them see a dime of it. And I just think, We don't have to. The schools don't have to pay them because you get into a whole thing where it's like, well, this school can pay more than the other.
Yeah, that's the problem with it.
And you could put a flat rate on it. Also, this is what every athlete gets paid. You can make it that way, but I don't even think you need that. Just let the kids sell their merch.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. That they should be getting money for all. I mean, for all these jersey sales that you see these big time players getting, they should at least see their money back on stuff like that.
So yeah, we have the clip right here of exactly what Tebow said, and I'll play that. It may sound awful over the mic, but we're working what we got here.
I feel like I have a little credibility and knowledge about this because when I was at the University of Florida, I think my jersey was one of the top selling jerseys around the world. It was like Kobe, LeBron, and then I was right behind them, and I didn't make $1 from it. But nor did I want to, because I knew going into college what it was all about. I knew going to Florida, my dream school, where I wanted to go, the passion for it, and if I could support my team, support my college, support my university, that's what it's all about. But now we're changing it from us, from my university, from being an alumni where I care, which makes college football and college sports special, to then, okay, it's not about us, it's not about we, it's just about me. And yes, I know we live in a selfish culture where it's all about us, but we're just adding and piling it onto that, where it changes what's special about college football. We turn it into the NFL, where who has the most money, that's where you go. That's why people are more passionate about college sports than they are about NFL. That's why the stadiums are bigger in college than they are in the NFL, because it's about your team. It's about your university. It's about where my family wanted to go. It's about where my grandfather had a dream of seeing Florida win an SEC championship. And you're taking that away so that young kids can earn $1. And that's just not where I feel like college football needs to go. There's that opportunity in the NFL, but not in college football.
Yeah, so that's Tebow's take on it, and I think there is some validity to that, but that is a very rich man saying kids don't need money. So
yeah, that's
Yeah, and with Tebow, that's just a different kind of dude. He was a team player. He cared about his university, and I mean, the majority of guys, they care about themselves. I mean, I don't want to say that, but that's just how the culture is nowadays.
Which are Tebow was one that just loved the game and loved the competition. Yeah. And I think there's still the majority of college football players still are the same way. But there's also quite a few that just have pure talent that are doing it for their family. Because it's a path that...
It's a way out.
Yeah, it's a way out from their current situation. It's a different path to success that they have an opportunity for, that they can work for, than any other opportunity they've ever been given in their entire life. So I think that's the big difference. And those are the guys who need the money and not necessarily just trying to earn a buck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is that all for Twitter news today, Aaron? You got some more?
The only other one was, let's see, I believe it was... Tim Brando earlier this week, before the games today, stated that Trevor Lawrence is playing better than Tua this season.
Oh,
and
man.
I just thought that was very funny, because Trevor Lawrence's stats, he had a 63.8% completion rate, 436 yards, 2 touchdowns,
Impressive.
and 3 interceptions on the season.
Oof.
Whereas Tua had a 76.4% completion rate, 563 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. And
let's not forget, Trevor Lawrence just threw 2 interceptions tonight.
That's
as
what
well.
he threw 2 tonight, and I believe Tua had 5 touchdowns.
So is this stat from before today?
Yes, this was before today. It was earlier this week, and I just thought that was laughable, because everybody was talking about how Trevor Lawrence had he didn't play necessarily bad, he just has not lived up to the hype the first 2 games. And then tonight against Syracuse, he goes on to throw 1 or 2 more interceptions.
Let's see. Tonight,
throws 5 TDs.
Lawrence was 22-39. I mean, not great completion percentage. 395 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Still very good. Like, he's not like...
Oh,
not saying
almost
it's bad by
400
any
yards.
means, just... when you can't say that he's having a better year than Tua. I just thought that was.
Yeah, no, he's a great quarterback, but you have to wonder kind of what is going on with Trevor Lawrence right now, because it's not the guy we saw in the title game or even at all last season.
The back half of last season, it was just like he fit into that offense perfectly. He was running it with confidence, and it was just seamless. And then he starts off quite the opposite this year.
So, but they're still getting the job done so far, so we'll see.
Yeah, a win's a win, so we'll see. I don't see them losing this year, but
no, there's no way.
But we'll see. So I want to jump into Alabama first.
Interesting game today.
Yeah, very interesting game today. So they won big, obviously, 47-23, but it didn't feel like an Alabama win today.
O-line.
The O-line had a lot of problems, especially in the first half. And I know they're young and somewhat inexperienced, but there was 4 or 5 guys coming through the line just easy, hitting Tua, and there was no stopping them. And this is just South Carolina's D-line, which, is good, but we're going to see better.
They struggled the whole game. Not even much of an adjustment after halftime. And, it was even the freshman linebackers, they kind of struggled. It wasn't as bad, but the focus was definitely on the O-line. But
what worried you more, the O-line or the linebackers?
Farther we get down in the season, because we're going to, obviously have Auburn's D-line, but then we'll also have Joe Burrow picking us apart. And
no, we'll see about that.
And, I don't know. I'm equally as concerned, I'd have to say.
So you guys may know this stat. If you do, then let the other one answer first. But can either of you guess how many total yards, the defense gave up today?
Of Alabama's defense?
Yeah. Just guess.
I won't answer because I've got it pulled up, so
okay.
I won't answer.
If I had to guess, just total yards?
Total yards given up.
350.
Total yards today given up is 459.
Jeez.
Yeah.
The most in a game since the Ole Miss game 3 years ago.
Wow.
The 48-43 game. That's just South Carolina.
Yeah, that was worse.
But the defense is young though, and it's a game on the road.
Yeah, you got freshman linebackers back there, but that is still troublesome.
Yeah, it's very concerning.
Yeah.
But see, the good thing is, with how great the offense is, you can worry about this a little. You don't really have to worry about it as much.
Until
just
you get
because
to
your
those
offense is,
you get those stunts and
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
talking about how good the defense was today, though. Tua and Najee were both just about perfect today.
They played very well.
Yeah, that run. Well, I guess it was technically a reception that Najee had is going to be one people remember. That's going to be one of his iconic plays.
Oh, that was a great play.
This might be a bold statement, but I believe Tua might be the most improved that we saw last year in the SEC because he's not spinning and running around anymore.
The thing is
making smarter check downs. He's not trying to do too much.
He's throwing shorter passes. He's not going for the home run ball every single play. Mm-hmm. And that's something that you never saw last year. Every pass was the home run pass.
Last year he had the talent to pull it off sometimes, so you kind of got blinded by that. But I think that injury kind of I think it still slows him down just a little bit, and it kind of was eye-opening to him and not get so crazy because I think he does want obviously a long future in the NFL, and he got a lot smarter about reading, and if it's not there, then just check down. And I think he's doing a much better job of that this year.
Yeah, and here's a stat for you. So he had a career high in passing yards with 444 and a career high in passing touchdowns with 5.
Yeah, and he did he pass?
I believe he passed A.J. McCarron for the most 5 touchdown games.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew he joined him on the list somewhere. I wasn't sure if he passed.
I believe he has 8 and McCarron has 7. I could be wrong.
I think you are right on that.
But see, the thing is, of course, that I heard him last year. I know he was injured, but just performance in the big games. I'll be curious to see once he plays, LSU, Georgia kind of defense if they meet Georgia in the SEC championship, how he performs. That's the only thing that still concerns me about him.
Yeah, I mean, overall, Alabama took care of business. It took late into the game to
pull away.
Yeah, to pull away, but
it's not like they never lost. They never were really out of control. They made a lot of mistakes.
South Carolina made a lot of mistakes in the red zone too.
Yeah, they definitely did.
They had plenty of chances.
And I think that's what's worrisome is that South Carolina did not come out and play a perfect game.
No.
It was it was sloppy at times.
It wasn't like Stephen Garcia 2010. They came out and then we just beat them because we did what we were supposed to. It was, they helped us beat them.
Yeah. But, I think that this is going to get blown out of proportion more than it needs to be. I think people are going to overreact to this game. And usually that's when Alabama performs is when people do overreact to them. So maybe that would be the best thing for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, I don't think they have anything to worry about. So I think if they can get those things fixed, it'll be fine. But it's going to take some real work, especially on the O-line and with the linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
So next week, Alabama is going to host Southern Miss. That's going to be an 11 o'clock game, despite Saban's unwant for his disdain for morning games. But
hey, I think they're creating that app where they track to see how long you stay during the game. You'll get points.
Yeah,
towards the playoffs.
I have not heard about this.
Yeah, so that's the thing they've done this for. I don't know if it's just for students or for everyone, but
I think it might just be for students.
I think it is. So they track you. If you stay the entire game, you get more points, and points can be exchanged for
tuition.
Yeah, don't get ahead of yourself. Maybe for a foam finger or something at the gate. I don't know, but some kind of prizes.
A free $3 meal at the cafeteria.
Yeah, which is crazy to think that you're asking your students. You have to reward them to stay longer at a football game
for a beatdown.
Yeah, well, and that just goes back to you've got these games against very weak opponents at the hottest parts of the day.
That's the biggest part for me. Is it's just so hot.
Yeah.
In that stadium, it's
a billion degrees. I'm going to try to go to this game this weekend. I don't know that I will, just because it is so hot. But I'm gonna give it a red hot go. Try to go to it, and we'll see. So.
Considering it's an 11 o'clock game, I have
have fun with that.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's very fair. A lot of people think the same way. Any more comments on Alabama's game performance?
Not really.
No, Justin?
No, they handled their business. A lot to improve from this game, but I don't see anything to worry about with Alabama.
Yeah, they're not the world beaters that we thought they were at this time last year. This is a team that can lose, but they're going to have to work on it to keep that from happening.
Yeah.
Okay, segment is the word I was trying to think of earlier, and I thought about it now.
Yeah.
So the next segment we're going to throw in here is Knight Needs to Know. Justin Knight is going to give us a few questions that me and Aaron are going to. Me and Aaron are going to answer. Me and Answer are going to Aaron.
Here's just a little fun question to ask to start off. Will Tennessee win another game this season?
Let me pull up the Tennessee schedule real quick just so we can...
Yeah, go ahead and pull it up.
If you just, without pulling it up, I'm going to say no. But
what would be your answer to this question, Justin?
So what's their schedule? Let me pull that up.
Okay, I have it pulled up, and I'm going to say no.
You're going to say no.
Okay.
So they play Florida next week. That's a loss. Georgia is the next game. That's a loss.
Nope.
Mississippi State.
Nope.
That's probably a loss. Alabama is a definite loss. South Carolina is most likely a loss. I think.
No, that's interesting. That's an interesting game.
Yeah, I mean that's one that wouldn't just floor me if South Carolina flopped. Same with Mississippi State. I could see them just not showing up that day.
If everyone plays their best game, Tennessee loses.
Yeah.
I think overall South Carolina is a better football team.
To me, the most interesting game on the schedule is November 2nd against UAB.
It is, but I like my Blazers.
I like the Blazers in this too, and I don't know if that's just some bias coming out because we do
I'm not gonna lie. Some of it is biased.
This area is so behind UAB. I mean, it really does it brings Alabama and Auburn fans together.
Yeah,
people do
really
love UAB.
It's at Tennessee is the only, but that's also where UAB really thrives when they just go to
on the
knock
road
people
because
off.
they beat LSU a couple 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
No, that was Troy you're thinking of. UAB did.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of Troy. Yeah.
UAB did beat LSU at night at LSU though.
That was
a long time ago.
That was in 2000 or 2001.
Yeah, a long time ago.
So a long time ago, but it's happened. I'd love to see UAB win this game.
That would be awesome.
I really would.
Yeah, the only thing is because it's kind of a rivalry is Vandy and Tennessee because Vandy's not even as good as I thought they were, which was not very good.
So here's what I'm going to say. Out of the Vanderbilt game, Missouri game, Kentucky game, UAB game, South Carolina game, and Mississippi State game, they win 2 of those 6.
I'm not going to be surprised if they win 2, just because the majority of those teams by that point in the season will all have nothing to play for.
Yeah.
And
some of them will be playing for bowl eligibility.
But that's not something that just, gets them riled. So I could see them knocking off 1 or 2 of them, but if I had to go with a favorite every week, it would not be Tennessee.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be favored in any of them except for UAB and possibly Vandy.
Maybe yeah. Those are the 2 I think too.
Yeah. What else you got for us?
But right now, I would still take UAB and Vandy over them.
Sure. I think that's fair.
All right, let's go on to question 2 here. So this just kind of came up tonight. With Felipe Franks out, is Florida a better team or a worse team?
100% better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
I've
been saying it before he ever got hurt.
I think the team we saw after he went down was better. I don't know if they were playing for Felipe Franks or if they just had a better quarterback behind the center, but they were a better team. I mean, they put up more points. They were a better team.
Yeah.
They're more productive. I don't know what else to say. What would you say, Justin?
I think it's just going to come down to chemistry and, how long it's going to take them to get used to,
Now, this guy is a redshirt junior.
Redshirt junior.
So he's been there a while. Yeah. He shouldn't, be nervous coming out there, but I still saw some things that,
It's just chemistry, you got to...
Yeah, he was still working out the kinks.
But in my opinion, it all looked better than Felipe. I'm not a big Felipe fan. He doesn't pass the eye test.
I'm not either.
He has the body, and he's a big joker, and you would think he could play, but he's not it, Chief.
Yeah,
for me,
that's fair.
I just don't see how he's.
I'm gonna look up and see if we know anything about his injury yet. You can go ahead and ask the next question, Justin, while I'm doing that.
All right, this is my final question for this podcast. All right, let's see. I want to see who y'all have got so far in the playoffs. If we would go to the end of the season, who would y'all have?
Ooh, playoffs this early?
Oh, playoffs right now.
Might as well think about it.
2 of them is
obvious.
It's going to be in all of ours, right? Alabama, Clemson.
Yeah.
That's the 2 safest. You can't get any safer than putting them 2 in.
Well, after today, Alabama's not as safe as it once was, but I'm also a fan, so I'm definitely going to have them in.
Yeah,
sure.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, no, I still think they're pretty safe compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
I think LSU's creeping up there, but we haven't seen Edo have a full season without a loss, so I'm not sure that'll work out.
Yeah. So I think Alabama, Clemson, like we've already talked about. Then I think Jalen gets it done at Oklahoma.
I do too.
And then I guess, as much as I hate to say it, I think Ohio State just finds their way in.
Ooh.
See, because they usually always have that loss.
Okay,
but
so
Michigan State already had their loss. Penn State,
so they're done.
Is right there with them.
They should have lost today. They should have lost today. And then Michigan looked terrible the last couple weeks. They've just looked terrible. I don't see. I had them before. I had them this is the year, Urban left, and this is the year that it's for Harbaugh, it's do or die.
But they've just played so bad. I can't see how they would beat Ohio State.
Okay.
So as much as I hate to say it, I see Ohio State
before you go, Justin. I just want to interrupt real quick. So Dan Mullen in the press conference said that he's pretty certain there was a break in the leg and dislocation, and that he'll be done for the season.
Yeah.
So keep him in his prayers, whatever you think about him. Keep him in your thoughts, and hopefully this is not the last time he sees a football field. Anyways, Justin, continue.
All right, so here's a good question here. Let's say we've got Alabama and Georgia playing the SEC championship. They're undefeated. Georgia loses. Ohio State goes undefeated, wins the Big Ten. Who are you picking in that fourth spot?
You have to give it to Ohio State.
Yeah, okay. I think you do. I know that's not how you're supposed to pick. It's supposed to be the four best teams, but
you have to give it to Ohio State.
I think we've already seen that that's not how this committee always picks teams, and
but now you got to see. I mean, I know this is different circumstances with Ohio State. Alabama went over them. What was it? 2017-18 season? Did they go over them?
What was that?
Or they went over Penn State that year to go into the playoffs. And Penn State won the Big Ten. But Penn State had, 2 losses that year?
I'd have to go back and look.
I don't see a 2-loss team getting in this year. There's too many good teams.
There are a lot of good teams.
Yeah. There would have to be... I think the only way a 2-loss team gets in is if there's 2 2-loss teams, because there's that many back and forth.
How about this then? How about Ohio State goes in with 1 loss, still wins the Big Ten, but Georgia has 2 losses?
Who would their second loss be to?
Georgia? Yeah. Say they somehow lose to Notre Dame next week.
It depends. Well, it would have to depend on Notre Dame. Like there's a lot more.
Yeah, there's variables. So much that goes into that. So you'd have to look at if Notre Dame went and lost 2-3 games, then you'd put them in over them.
Yeah.
But there's so many, and that's what's so interesting about the college football season is because there's so many things that can happen, and everybody's clinging on to everybody if you've got a loss, and so I can't wait to see it. I don't know who's going to come out unscathed, who's going to, I think that Alabama will. After today, I'm less confident in that. Still confident, but slightly less, and then same with Clemson. I mean, I know that they're not going to have any trouble with their schedule. But once they get into the playoffs, Trevor Lawrence doesn't look like the guy we thought he's going to be. And I think if he doesn't come to play, maybe it's a different story this year. So we'll see. How about this question? Who would you like to see in the playoffs? Not who do you think would be it, but just it doesn't even have to be a team that's good. What program would you like to see make it?
Oh, gosh.
UAB. No, no.
That's fair.
I would hate to see them get beat down.
Yeah, that's fair.
Trying to think.
Like I'd enjoy seeing Texas make their way back to it somehow.
Yeah, I really like the Texas team. I believe they're still better than most people give them credit for.
Yeah.
I still believe they should have won the LSU game.
Just because you picked them.
No, I mean, even if I didn't pick them, it's pretty obvious. Like they had the opportunities and
they did
squandered them. But I like this Texas team.
I'd like to see LSU go. I'd like to see some of these just some new blood.
I mean, this is just my bias. I'd love to see Auburn make it.
Sure, they haven't been to it, so you'd love to see some more representation in there. No doubt about it.
Actually, I'd love to see Notre Dame in it again. I'd
like to see them get beat down again.
That'd be nice.
Well,
or UCF. UCF.
Okay, I would like to see somehow
just
UCF
so they get
make
whipped.
It, and I just hope they get beat by 40 in it.
Well, Justin mentioned Auburn. I think it's a good time we just make our way on over to that game. So, Justin, being the official Auburn fan of the podcast, tell us your takes on the big win tonight.
I tell you what, the only thing it worries me just about every game Auburn starts is how slow the defense starts off. I mean, Kent State was having it pretty easy to start off, moving it down the field. Now, I know they only got a field goal. Auburn's defense has always been great in the red zone area. They've come up with big stops over and over again. But I tell you what worries me. I mean, the same thing happened against Oregon. A slow start, 14 points in the first quarter. And just when you're playing a team like LSU, Alabama, A&M coming up next weekend, if you have a slow start like that, I don't know if I see our offense making another comeback.
Yeah, it does seem like there's a little bit of a slow start a lot of times on both sides of the ball with Auburn.
Yeah, both sides, yeah, because, I mean, like against Tulane last week, and the offense couldn't do anything to start off.
Yeah, and
which is hard to watch.
I'm not sure why that is exactly.
I always think it's a Gus kind of thing, that he's not putting his team into the right mindset to start a game. I know it's just Kent State, but as a coach, you've got to put your team in the right mindset to get ready for a game.
Yeah, and I think maybe a problem with that, and I don't know this, but maybe Gus hasn't surrounded himself with enough coaches to make up for that aspect of the game. He's not a guy that pumps you up. He's not a guy that's going to get in your face and get you excited. When you're not that kind of guy, you've got to have guys around you that are.
And I think with Coach Steele as the DC, I think he's one of those guys. And then bringing back some Auburn alum like Cadillac, coaching running backs, I think good guys like that will help out. And, I mean, it's only week 3, and tonight was really good to get a little tune-up before next week against A&M. Run game was really good. We had 467 total yards rushing, so that was great to see. Because if Auburn's going to be good, they have to have a strong run game.
Yeah, and that's something we didn't see much of last week with the line not looking too hot. There wasn't much of an option to run the ball very effectively.
No, but I mean, Bo Nix had a good night. He was 12-16, 161 yards, 1 touchdown. And I would love to see him start running the ball a little more because people underestimate how fast he is. And I think if he starts doing a little more of the read options, because he can move. And I also love seeing Joey Gatewood in. And they need to start using him more. Yeah, a lot of these third and short.
We got a little bit more of him tonight than we have in recent weeks.
He had 12 carries, 102 yards the time he was in. So I want to see him used a little more often because he's got great wheels, and I think he can come in handy on those third and short kind of plays.
Got anything to say about the Auburn game?
No, y'all pretty much covered it. I just saw that the little bit of it that I really paid attention to, I saw Joey, and it seemed like he ran the same 3 plays. And,
yeah, I mean, that's all
like
it was.
You said,
yeah.
It was 12 carries for 102 yards. Yeah. So, I mean, that pretty much says enough for it right there. He needs to be utilized a little more than I think they are.
So 55-16 over Kent State this week, but the big test comes next week.
Any predictions for that game, Justin?
If I had to go right now, I would go. Right now, they've got A&M as a 3.5-point favorite, and I would go with that right now. It's a scary game to go on the A&M. It's always a tough place to play.
Yeah, I think going into College Station, it's pretty.
That's what I'm worried about. Just how the offense is going to react, because A&M's got a solid defense. Because they handled Clemson's offense. I think they did a good job on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just what worries me going in, because I know the defense will come to play, but it's just going to come down to how the offense is going to produce.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the most difficult places to play, and on my bucket list of stadiums to visit.
Absolutely.
That would be a fun game to go to. I think tickets were only $75 if I remember that I saw earlier. So I'm pulling up the point spread here. Right now, this was no, this is last year's article. You got the point spread right there with you, Justin?
On ESPN it says
3.5. 3.5 on ESPN?
So, 3.5. Yeah.
Okay, so that sounds about right to me. The matchup predictor on ESPN gives Texas A&M a 56.7% chance of winning. That thing is always a bit wonky, but
it is, yeah.
I do believe that Texas A&M is the better team, but I also would not be surprised if Auburn managed to pull it out somehow.
That's the funny thing. I mean, I think
they have a knack for doing so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do, and I think this game will tell a lot about how the Auburn season is going to go, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think
because this is how it went last year. It was this Week 4 matchup against LSU. Auburn lost that game, and it just all went downhill from there. So this is a big game to see what kind of Auburn team we're going to get this year.
Yeah, $75 on Vivid Seats for That's the cheapest ticket available.
It's not bad.
Yeah, not too bad for what's going to be a top-ranked matchup.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not sure where these teams will be ranked come next week, but it's going to be a good game. And
let's see, this is where it starts. So, I mean, we got at A&M, then a couple weeks later at Florida, and then a couple weeks later at LSU.
That's a
couple weeks
schedule.
later, Georgia, and then a couple weeks later, Alabama.
Run through that schedule for us, Justin, and tell us which games, if any, the Tigers drop.
If I had to say right now, I'm going to say A&M. And then they got Mississippi State at home. They should win that. At Florida, I think Auburn will win that one just because of how Florida's looked so far.
Yeah.
Then they got at Arkansas. They should handle that one. At LSU, not feeling good about that one at all. Ole Miss at home should be an easy one to handle. Then Georgia at home. See, I don't feel as bad with having Georgia and Alabama at home.
Yeah.
Because I always feel a little better. Auburn always plays great at home.
You think you think those will split?
They're going to split, and if I had to take, I don't know which game they're going to win though. Because this Georgia team, I think, like I said last week, this is the best shot for them to win the national championship.
Yeah.
And we might have a little bit of help, maybe with Alabama defense. Who knows by then? But by then, they're going to have some good chemistry and be even better throughout the season. So,
I think if Auburn, of course, the Iron Bowl is weeks and weeks away, but
yeah,
at this point right now, Auburn would have to start installing more checkdowns because you got to. Because with the linebacker issue at Alabama, that's what you've got to take advantage of, and it doesn't seem like that's the area that they've got Bo Nix focused on throwing to.
And Auburn's got the athletic running backs to come in on those checkdowns with Cam Martin, Sean Shivers, and I mean Whitlow is going to. I think this is going to be a great season for him running the ball, and But with other guys like that, just throwing him in on third, on these third and longs and third and fives, if he just has some kind of check down to where he's not looking around, because that's been notorious for an Auburn quarterback, is he's just standing back there looking around because nobody's open and he has nobody to check it down to.
Yeah, I feel like that's a necessity for Bo Nix because the little bit that I have seen from him, he's not impressed me, and I think it's just part of being a true freshman quarterback playing in the SEC West.
Yeah,
and you've got to provide those checkdowns and a way out, essentially.
Because he's not going to be able to.
Because right now, without those, I don't even see them. I don't see them splitting Alabama and Auburn right now.
Yeah.
Out of the games that honestly, I feel like you were pretty spot on, except for the Florida game. I think they could pull that one out, but I think it would be a very
it'll be
good
tough
game, especially in Gainesville. I believe it is in Gainesville, right?
It is.
Yeah, I believe that would be a very, very good game, and they'll definitely pull a couple of them out because they always do, but. Once again, if I had to go with the best team, I don't know that I'd pick Florida, but the rest of them I would pick. I would definitely pick over Auburn right now.
I mean, it just sounds like another one of those 5-loss seasons, which that's the Auburn season.
Yep.
So.
Hey, but you're in the top 10 like usual.
Yeah, which is not a good thing. Yeah. Anytime Auburn enters the top 10.
You kind of got that Maryland type deal, every time you get ranked. Yeah, y'all enter the top 10 and you lose, and Maryland gets ranked and they lose.
This early in the season, forget about it. It's going to be a bad year.
Well, we know that Justin is always down on his Auburn Tigers, just always a bit of a pessimist, but he can rest assured knowing that he and his Tigers are always going to do better than the people I'm about to bring up in our new segment,
Oh, boy.
Miss Managers.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start out with a story here by Fox News, of all places. This is New Zealand man brings professional clown to pink slip meeting who mimed crying maid balloon animals. So basically, what happened was this guy got an email. Okay, he got an email from his boss. He said, hey, we've got to talk about your position, your future here. This is going to be a serious meeting. And a lot of places, when you get that email, they tell you to bring a support friend, somebody that you can bring along to make it a little less awkward, to have somebody there to reassure you. You get it. But I'm sure everybody's aware of that. So this guy, getting that email, realizing I'm about to be fired, doesn't go get a friend, doesn't go get a brother or a sibling or a loved one. He hires a clown for $200. This man is losing his paycheck. He goes and he pays $200
for a meme, just
for
a joke.
For a joke. So I'm just gonna read the article here, and y'all can react to it as I go. A New Zealand advertising executive facing the bleak prospect of being fired decided to inject a bit of humor into the situation, bringing a professional clown to his final meeting instead of a colleague for emotional support. Josh Thompson, a copywriter for ad agency FCB New Zealand and a budding comedian, revealed he had spent $200 to hire the clown, dubbed Joe, after getting an email from superiors asking to meet to discuss your role. The clown subsequently blew up balloon animals and even mimed crying when Thompson was handed his layoff paperwork. Thompson, who had been in the role since April, wrote, "A while ago I got a job. A short while later I lost it. For anyone who hasn't been fired, what happens is they schedule a serious meeting and advise you to bring a support person. Seeing the bad news, I decided I need the best support person available. So I spent $200 to hire a clown. Today, somehow, it's the top story in the New Zealand Herald."
I was say though, that's good money for the clown.
Yeah.
200 for a meeting.
Yeah, 200 for a meeting.
Should look into becoming the next bozo.
He said it was rather noisy him making balloon animals, so we had to tell him to be quiet from time to time. Just imagine how awkward that would have to be for the guys that it's already awkward to fire someone, but then they bring in a clown.
I mean, just think.
I would instantly reinstate you if you did that, and I'm about to fire you. I was like, this guy's not. He's not meant to.
Well, Thompson landed on his feet because he says that he moved to Australia and he has secured a new job since. So,
well, good for him.
Good for him. So I got a couple more stories here. This one comes from the same website. Angry seal helps Australian police bust drug smuggling ring, and this one's gonna lend myself
angry what?
Seal, like from the ocean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So this one's gonna lend a question as to what would you have done in this situation if you were the drug smugglers. I'm just going to read it to you. An intentional drug smuggling ring was busted in Australia with the help of an angry seal. The seal prevented the getaway of 2 foreign nationals from a small island off the Geraldton coast. They woke up and it jumped up with its big chest out and bellowed at them. So what was happening was these guys, they were running from the law. The cops were right behind them. There's one way out, and that one way is a giant seal that just woke up angry and is just yelling at you. It says the 2 foreigners were on a yacht that they ran around on September 2nd before they attempted to flee in a dinghy. They were caught the next day after the seal interceded. Cops seized 1 ton of illicit drugs after their arrest. 1 ton.
1 ton?
An entire
ton.
Gosh. Yeah, so if you find yourself in a predicament where you are smuggling an entire ton, 1 ton of drugs, and you are either going to go to the police and go to prison, or you can fight your way through an angry seal, what are you two doing?
Well, before this, I had no idea. But, let's see.
Did you look at what a seal can do?
Well, I looked up how many people die from seals every year.
Okay.
And
yeah, how many people do die?
All I'm getting is Navy SEAL stuff.
Let me see. I'll try to pull something up.
Trying to
well, there's a lot of people that die from that.
Let's see here.
Okay, that's talking about how many die, not how many.
Yeah, this is a lot of Navy SEALs coming up. I'm just going to look up how dangerous are SEALs.
I mean, heck, those things are pretty big. I'd be pretty scared.
Yeah.
It can be a dangerous endeavor to try to study these creatures, and in one case, leopard seals have been known to kill humans. Most recently, a marine biologist working with the British Antarctic Survey drowned after being dragged nearly 200 feet below the surface of the water. So, obviously, these things are not to mess with. So, with that in mind, what are you doing?
I'm just turning myself in.
You're turning yourself in. You're going to go to prison. Man. For a long time. A ton of drugs, 1 ton, probably going away forever.
I mean,
There's a good chance. What if I'm good? Maybe I get parole. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. So you're saying no to the seal?
I'm taking my chances and going to prison.
What kind of seal was it?
I don't know. Let me see.
Because apparently there's quite a big variance.
After hearing about the seal dragging a person 2,000 feet, underwater?
200.
Yeah.
2,000. I'm gone. I'm not. Never mind.
Yeah. I was about to say. Yeah.
200's impressive.
No, so this doesn't.
A grown man 200 feet.
Yeah, 200 feet
onto the surface. That's pretty impressive.
This article doesn't say the type of seal, but yeah. So what are you doing, Aaron?
Man, I don't know.
There's no way you're fighting that thing.
Well, I'm not going to try and fight it. I'm going to try and run past it if at all possible.
All right. Well, we got to get it. What are you going with? You going past it, or you going?
I'm going. I mean, I know what. It's a 50-50 chance that I get. Well, not necessarily, but at the time in my mind, I'm thinking 50-50 chance I can get past the seal, or it just kills me, puts me out of my misery. Otherwise, it's 100% chance of going to jail.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm giving the seal a try.
I think we have
confident.
I think we have a similar mindset on that one, Justin. I'm not going to prison. I will take on the seal.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, prison's not something I'm made for.
Okay, and the last thing, topic here on mismanagers. The headline of this article by Mashable is, "Oh no, construction workers found a bunch of teeth inside a wall."
Oh my gosh, that's horrifying.
So I'm going to read this one to you. Construction workers in Valdosta, Georgia, so, our neighbors, were surprised to discover around 1,000 teeth inside a building wall on Tuesday. That's right, a bunch of teeth. Human teeth. According to a researcher, the building's first tenant was a dentist named Dr. Clarence Whittington, which explains kind of the teeth's presence.
No, it does not.
It does not explain why the teeth were in the wall, but what's a life without a little dental mystery? The dental...
what
was that?
I said, why is this man putting teeth? I mean, how does it end up in the wall?
Dentist for one reason, and that's because he's a psycho.
I'm about to give you something that may surprise you. The Daily Times also pointed out that the wall teeth have been found in 2 other Georgia cities as well, both times in buildings that previously had dental offices as tenants. Perhaps the big secret among dentists is that they like to put teeth in the walls and not tell anyone for generations. Who can say? Yeah, so apparently this is a somewhat common thing. It's been done at least 3 times in Georgia. I don't know if this is state Georgia or the country Georgia.
Now, okay, what year were these dentists operating?
State, right?
I don't know.
Georgia.
Valdosta, Georgia. So
yeah, state. Right?
What time period was these from? Is that what you said?
Yeah. What year?
So it doesn't say, but it does say, unfortunately, the teeth have been thrown away, despite the local historical society asserting they'd be happy to receive the teeth. So old enough that the historical society was interested.
You could get DNA off those teeth, see who the people were.
Yeah.
I was about to say, is there any way you could do DNA?
Sure.
I mean, I'm sure there is.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. But it was the building's first tenant. I don't see anything that says the time period. But yeah. Just thought that was interesting. How would y'all react to finding teeth in your wall? Not well?
No. I don't believe so. That's pretty.
I think I'd
creepy.
be interested in just seeing whose teeth they were.
Well, it's over 1,000. 1,000 teeth was in the wall.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm never going to the dentist again. Actually,
okay. So this guy was the dentist from 1911 to 1930.
Okay.
So recent times, the modern era of the world.
That might make sense then. I guess just
how
back
does that make
during
sense?
that time
Yeah, I would like to know how it makes sense.
And just during that time period, to them, maybe they just thought putting teeth in the wall was a better idea
Then what?
disposing of them.
What? What's the alternative?
Yeah, well, is there only one other alternative? Keep it in their pockets? Glue it to their forehead?
Maybe there's something superstitious about it or something. I don't know.
Well, I believe there surely
in 1930.
Surely that would have came down generations.
Superstition?
Yeah, like okay, I see what you're saying, but then there would have been some kind of story to go along with it, like hey, by the way, we put teeth in the wall for this reason.
Well, maybe these dentists, maybe it was something that dentist society, they don't want anybody to know about it.
Because they're a bunch of psychos?
Yeah, who knows?
The world of dentists is the deep state.
Here's my question.
But, like, how many...
Do y'all, here we go. Do you really enjoy going to the dentist?
No.
No, okay. They're probably psychos, for all we know. Nobody enjoys going to the dentist.
So, okay, but how did they... People don't get teeth
No offense to
pulled
any
that
dentist
often,
out there.
though. Why would they get...
Maybe, well, in the 1930s, I imagine that...
Yeah, more so, but
Yeah.
that's still...
That's 1,000 teeth over 20 years. 19 years of work.
In one building, though. That's just one.
That's just one wall.
That's just, yeah.
There might be more walls. I don't know.
So, I mean, so what are we looking at here? Like 40, we got like, what, 50 people we're looking at here? 50 plus?
50
Yeah.
plus.
For the 50 people let out 1,000 teeth.
What math are you doing,
No,
son?
I'm just saying. I'm just thinking about how many teeth we have.
Oh. I don't own
That
any teeth
person
besides my own.
I'm so confused your point.
I think we need to move on to the next topic.
Okay, I think y'all have me confused. I'm just trying to do math by how many teeth a person has.
You have
How many teeth are in these
34
walls?
teeth, is that right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
How many teeth does a person have? I'll Google it. 32 teeth.
All right.
Okay.
So,
There's not that many teeth that, like, there's no reason there should, like, people don't get teeth pulled that often.
We don't know how. I mean, how do you know?
So-
1911.
so
Because most people that don't have teeth that I know is because they fell out of their head because they're on drugs. They didn't go to the dentist to get them pulled.
listen to this.
How many people have lost teeth at the dentist that you know? Very few. And they don't lose 32 at a time.
Look,
So.
I'm
Well,
just
if a
saying,
person
it's
did-
different time. It's different time.
Okay.
I agree,
Well,
but-
listen to this. If the teeth that we found was all 32 of individuals, it would take 31 people to produce 1,000 teeth.
So is that what it said?
That's what the math I just did. It
Yeah.
would take 31 people to produce 1,000 teeth. And that's if you lost
Yeah.
every tooth in your head.
So
Yeah.
unless he murdered 31 people.
Well, the article did go on to say there is no evidence of a crime as of yet.
As of yet, but they threw all the teeth away.
What was that?
How the hell are they
Okay, so
going
here's-
to investigate it if they don't have any of the teeth?
Also, what do you do with teeth? How do you just throw them away? You just put them in the dump?
But see,
Yeah, I don't
do
know.
y'all remember that movie, Don't Be Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
Where, I guess if they were kidnapped, it was like these little creatures. Do y'all remember those little creatures?
Vaguely.
And they were like kidnap the kids, and then they would tell the dude to bring teeth in, like his own teeth. And so they would take the teeth as an offering. Do you remember that?
Where's this going?
I'm just saying, maybe this was it.
Maybe this is it?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. But I do know that we're at 57 minutes already, and we're going to try to wrap this up in an hour. But we
Yeah,
still
why,
have...
Why is this even a...
Yeah, we got on Teeth Talk for too long. Our new segment. But we do still have we do still have to rank away jerseys in the SEC.
Oh, we do, yeah.
So you want to hop into that?
Sure.
Let's do that.
Okay, let me pull up.
Yeah, tell me what link you go to.
Yeah, I will. Let me find one.
Still kind of shook on last week's.
Okay, there's one on Saturday down south. Just look up SEC away jerseys ranked.
I didn't think about it. We
Alright.
should have actually ranked these. We should have looked this up ahead of time.
And ranked them ourselves. Maybe that's what we'll do next week with the alternative jerseys. We'll rank
Yeah,
them
that one's going to be a
ourselves.
lot harder, though, because there's so many alternative jerseys. We'll have to pin that down to ourselves. We'll have to get
We'll see,
together.
Auburn and Alabama, no alternate jerseys. There's two teams you don't have to worry about.
So, well, actually, yeah. Yeah, so this
This article's...
this is a little out of date. That's okay.
Yeah, it is.
That's fine though. We'll just go with these because I can't find another article that has it. So these are going to be 2015 and before. So starting out at number 14, we have Mizzou's white on white. I don't like this.
I don't like this. They're white on white, and then they just randomly decide to color just the shoulder pads.
Yeah, so the shoulder
the
pads
gray.
are black, and so is the helmet, and that's it.
Yeah, it just kind of throws it off.
Yeah,
Looks
I don't
kinda-
like that
looks
at all.
awkward.
I don't
Well,
mind
they
the
do have
white on white.
They do have the 2 random stripes on the leg, but that just, once again, it's not very cohesive.
Yeah, you get some tiger stripes in those stripes too, so stripes on stripes. I don't like this at all.
Yeah, these are ugly.
Yeah, let's keep going. So 13, we got Mississippi State's white on white. I don't mind
I
these
agree.
outside of the pants.
See, I like the pants, but I don't like the jerseys that much. I don't feel like I don't feel like they go together. Like the top half is more old school traditional, and the pants are trying to be new.
So what it is,
but they don't mesh well together.
Since no one listening to this can see them, it's a white jersey. It's got the Mississippi State red stripes on the shoulder pads, and then on the pants that are also white, they have the Mississippi State logo like stitched into them.
I just hate the color on the helmet.
Yeah, it's on the side. It's on the thigh. I don't like this very much either. The more I look at it, the more I dislike it.
I don't mind the pants myself, but
yeah, the pants aren't bad.
I also don't see them being much higher. So
yeah,
no.
Okay, let's go to Texas A&M's white on white. These look sharp.
They're clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like these. I love the white helmet too.
Yeah, the white helmet is beautiful, and then the stripes work well with this. The numbers and then the font is all great.
My only complaint is it goes from 2 stripes to 1.
Yeah, that is a little weird. So on the shoulder pads, you have 2 stripes going straight down. On the pants, you'd have just 1. It's just a little jarring, but a small inconvenience, I think.
But I think the number font looks pretty good on the jersey too.
Yeah, I think so too. Justin, real quick, can you check and make sure you're still recording?
Let's check, and we are.
Okay, great. Just making sure.
That would be.
That would have been a doozy.
That would have been awful. You might as well just cancel the podcast for tomorrow altogether.
Yeah, try again in the morning.
Jeez.
So Kentucky, we got the white on blue.
It's
fine.
These particular ones, I do not like as much. I like Texas A&M better.
Yeah.
And now I like the jersey, the top half.
Yeah, so
with the white and the blue on the shoulder pads.
I don't like the blue on the shoulder pads. Like it's only blue. I don't like that.
So the blue on the shoulder pads, it's a blue and a darker blue that makes it checkered.
It's a checkered
print. You got the white helmet, the blue stripe down it,
why
and the
not
blue
just do
pants.
it inverted? Like their home jerseys, those blue ones that we saw tonight, even against Florida, where they have the white checkered, but the whole thing's blue. Just do the opposite of that. Yeah. So instead, leave it all white with the blue checkers. That would be a much better.
That would look good. Yeah.
Much better combo for my opinion.
I do like their blue a lot, though. I think it works well with white.
Yes, it does, but I like Texas A&M's better.
Oh, that's so much better. It should be higher. Yeah. Number
10, we got South Carolina.
I agree.
Yeah?
I think it should be lower, though. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really a fan of the stripes.
I don't like the stripes either. Theirs is one of my least favorite helmets. You got the 3 stripes down the middle, 1 black, 2 red. And on the jerseys, it's a white jersey with black and red stripe on the shoulder pads and red pants with white and black stripes down the seams of them.
Yeah. I think it is completely fine, and I would still put Texas A&M away above
I would
them.
too, yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's
Otherwise,
fine.
I would still put them above Kentucky. I'd keep it going.
I agree. I would put Texas A&M above all of these we've seen so far.
I would too.
Well, let's go on to Vanderbilt, the white on gold, which I think
is
ugly.
hideous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just about the same.
That's probably.
I've
I've
just never been a fan of Vanderbilt's jerseys.
That might be the last. That might be last.
So the gold on the pants is lighter than the gold in the helmet, which is something that bothers me to my core.
It's a cream color. It's a cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even a gold.
And so many away jerseys and just jerseys in general do this, where the color in their helmet doesn't match the color in the rest of their uniforms.
State's home was bad about that today. I noticed.
Notre Dame is terrible about it.
Oh, Notre Dame's the world's worst.
Utah.
Yeah, Utah is bad about it. It's just why? Just make them match. I don't like it.
You spend that much money on both of them, come on.
On top of that,
you can color match.
On top of that, these are some of the plainest uniforms we've seen so far, and that can be a good thing at times, but not in this case, There's nothing on them. It's just a white
It's
jersey,
so
gold
different.
pants.
It's so different than their home jerseys to me. Like last week, I was literally talking about the detail they had in the helmet and And I mean, I didn't even think I liked them that much. It's just I liked them more than most of the other plain ones. But these are just the exact opposite. They're terrible. These are probably my least favorite so far.
Fair enough. Okay, we're going to go down to Florida, the white on orange. Now, this might be the best, in my opinion. Not the 2015 in particular, but the ones we see today.
The ones we saw today are sharp. I never imagined they would be my favorite jersey.
Or were those what'd they wear tonight?
They wore the
was it the all white?
Yeah, well, was it? No, it was white and blue, wasn't it?
I think it was the white on blue. Let me pull them up and see.
Well, whatever it was wearing, I agree. They look pretty good.
Yeah, it was just so clean. It's so...
Yeah, so today it was the white on orange.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. It looks a lot like these. The numbers are filled out a little bit more. It looks a little cleaner in the new ones, but it's essentially this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so close to their home, and it's so clean. It's not trying to do too much. Like, I never thought that they would have been our favorite jerseys in the SEC until last week when we went through them, and they're one of my favorite. They're one of my favorite away jerseys for sure.
I just think that orange pops so well with that blue.
Yeah.
So they move just above Texas A&M for right now. So.
And I just love the font on the helmet with the Gators.
Yeah,
I think that looks really sharp.
That's a really timeless logo. I do like that a lot.
It's not too old, it's not too new, and it doesn't have the gator with the stupid circle going around it. Like,
yeah, that would look.
It keeps that to a minimum. I still like that logo being involved in the jersey because it is like I think on the pants and all, but it's not overwhelming on the side of the helmet. I like their jerseys a lot.
So at number 7 we have Arkansas white on white.
These are not bad to me.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah,
because they're not trying to do too much. Like the little red in the pants and the jersey actually match. Unlike several others that we saw.
I do hate the little triangles coming out of the armpits here.
Yeah. What gets me is the silver on the helmet, whereas there's nothing else.
For the Razorback, yeah.
Yeah, also, that's a bad logo. I think I said that last week. Yeah. I just hate that. I like the color scheme. I hate the logo on the side of the helmet. Just slap a number on there or a different logo. Do something else. But, that's their thing. That's fine, but I hate it.
So these are about even with, like, where Kentucky is for me. They change one thing, and it does a lot for them. But I think these are right behind Kentucky for me.
Right under this one, we have Auburn, which topped the list last week. This is number 6, the white on
for
white.
home jerseys.
Yeah, and I think
their white on white's better.
I do too, and I really like their home jerseys, but I do think I like the white on white even better because it's so hard to pull off so much white. And I said that last week, way more white this week, and they do it so well. I really do like this look.
Yeah. See, with the orange and blue stripes on the shoulder pads and down the pants and down the helmet too, I think it all makes it look very good.
I also like that they don't try to do too much with their number. It's just a solid blue. No. There's no outline like you see so much of today. And I think that they just pull it off really well. Under Armour does great with these jerseys.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5.
I'm pretty sure.
What was you going to say?
I was saying, I don't think, is anybody else sponsored by Under Armour in the SEC?
I believe so, but I can't.
Oh, South Carolina.
South Carolina is? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the only one?
That might be the only other one.
That's the only. Texas A&M is Adidas, at least by 2015.
Yeah, they definitely are.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who Mississippi State is.
I'm pretty sure they're Adidas as well.
Oh, really?
They are. Yeah, Mississippi State's Adidas. Yeah.
And Mizzou is Nike. Yeah, that's the only Auburn. I mean, that's the only 2 Under Armour we've came across so far. Right ahead of them, ranked at number 5, is Alabama's white on whites, which is, just another timeless one.
If they had the white on white and the white helmet, they would be up.
White helmet.
We're gonna get it at some point. They're gonna bring it back. I feel confident they will. But I do like just the red helmet too.
I do like it too because it's just plain.
And see, and the white top half, works because there's no stripes going on the shoulder pads. Mm-hmm. Just the white number. That's it.
Crimson and white. You don't have a third. You don't have a third color to play with to mess anything up.
Nope.
It's totally simplistic, and you you can't mess it up. It's timeless. But not much else to say about that one. But at number 4 we have Ole Miss, which I highly disagree with.
Yeah, I'm not these particular ones, no. Because this is white on gray.
Oof.
White on gray, and there's no other gray anywhere else. And then on their jerseys, it's just white and red. There's no other blue.
So what we're looking at here is a white jersey. It's got red stripes on the shoulder pads, gray pants.
Going vertical, yeah.
Yeah, you got gray pants, and you have your usual blue, the dark blue helmet. And it's just
colors all over the place.
It's a lot of colors. It's a lot to take in.
So the stripe on their helmet is going from, like a normal stripe is going from the front to the back, and then the one on their shoulder pads follow that.
Yeah, so front to back.
And then the ones on the pants are on the side.
Yeah.
And there's too many stripes going too many ways with too many different colors.
Yeah.
Not
a fan of this.
I feel like it could be made a whole lot simpler and look a lot better if they just had white pants with the red and.
Or if they just did the white with the baby blue pants and the baby blue helmet.
Yeah, that would look sweet.
That would look great.
That would look good.
I think it would too. I just hate this. What I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, this right now is not it, Chief.
I don't know how this is for. Yeah.
So number 3, we've got LSU white on gold.
Yeah.
Basically the same exact one we saw last week for their home.
Classic look.
But I love it. It's one of my favorite jerseys in college football.
Today, the ones they wore, I know they were at home and they wore their purple jerseys, but they wore their
the
white
purple ones.
But they wore their white pants with their white helmet, and I thought it looked sweet.
Oh, it was beautiful, and I love.
Yeah, I love those.
So if they would do all white, I would love theirs. But I'm not. I'm not a. I don't hate the white and gold because it is pretty classic, kind of like Alabama and others. But it's not my favorite. It's about where it should be.
There's nothing I love more than a college that pulls off purple well, and I really love the LSU purple jerseys that we saw today. I'm going to talk a lot about them next week when we're ranking the alternative jerseys.
Oh yeah,
but I think it has to be my favorite helmet though. I think LSU.
Yeah, it's
if I had to pick one.
It's a hard look to pull off, and they do it so well with that logo. It's a yellow logo on a yellow helmet, but they make it work. It looks so good.
Yeah.
Number 2, we have the Tennessee's white on white. I like this so much better than their home jerseys because you keep the orange, that putrid orange, to a minimum.
And these are very clean.
And against most white, it takes on a different look. It's not that same.
It's not gaudy.
It's not that orange that's just consuming everything. It just is kind of an accent color, and it looks so much better in the away jerseys.
And they don't have the orange pants either. It's the white on white.
Yeah, the white on white looks so much better. It's just, and they're not trying to do too much with stripes and all on their helmet. It's just one bold stripe, just like it is around the collar, and there's nothing.
And that's good.
And then down the pants, and that's it. And it looks super clean.
Yeah, I think it looks great. Number 1, we have Georgia's white on silver.
I disagree with this.
I do too.
I do as well.
I think they have probably the worst combo between the two. Both of theirs are horrendous.
This is another case of too much color going on at once. You got the gray pants, the white jersey, the black undershirt, the red on the sleeves, on the collar with the red helmet, and it's just a lot.
Yeah, why
it's just
they can't
so much.
Do white on white or red?
I've just never.
I don't get the silver. Understood. I don't get why they always.
I don't either.
Get the silver and the
do
gray.
Black pants or do white pants.
Yeah. Or even if you did white and didn't have so much red, you could do red pants.
But the red pants wouldn't look bad. Yeah.
They just. I don't get there. I don't get.
Yeah, I always when I think of these jerseys, I think ugly jerseys.
I'm shocked that they're this high on this list.
Yeah, number 1.
Oh, this is number 1.
This is number 1.
Okay. Well, we need to. That person needs to reevaluate.
Let me see who this person is. I'll see who the author of this article is.
Give them a call.
Brad Crawford.
Right.
He penned this article for Saturday Down South 4 years ago. So you want to go give him a shout out and tell him what you think.
I think that he needs to reevaluate.
Well, this is 4 years ago, so hopefully he has.
Yeah, maybe his taste has changed.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a comment section.
Oh.
Not much in it.
Not much in it. Yeah, nothing really of. I figured it would just be people blasting this guy, but it seems like actually a pretty friendly community, which is disappointing. Just getting good on them. Except for this one guy, Danielle
Are
Taylor.
you mentally deficient?
Yeah, good on him. Whatever, I guess. But
that's a good comment.
anyways, we're at a minute 15. I mean, an hour 15. So
a minute 15. Ooh.
Yeah.
I would hope not. That means we haven't recorded anything.
Now those Texas A&M jerseys in the back, I'm a big fan of.
Those should be top 5. Those should be top 5.
So the one that we're looking at here, it's on the cover photo of the article, and it is white helmet, white jerseys for Texas A&M. It's got a silver logo with the silver state of Texas behind the numbers on the jersey.
It's real subtle.
It's very subtle, but it's also it's pretty powerful. It looks really good. But anyways, let's wrap this thing up. Let me get to my little page here with all my wrapping up stuff. Things to say at close the show. Got it right here in my notes. Thank you for listening. If you listen for this long, we're not sure if anybody does, but we appreciate it. If you do,
we don't blame you.
Yeah, we do not blame you.
Talking about teeth at one point. So.
Talking about teeth for about 15 minutes too long, but we appreciate you for checking us out. Be sure to find us on social media. You can find us at TGM Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also find me at Norrisosaurus. That's with NORRISOSAURUS, maybe?
We don't even know.
It's a mouthful. Is there anywhere people can find y'all at? If not, it's fine.
Nope.
There's nowhere you can
No,
find
only
me
because I can't remember my Twitter handle. So
that's okay because you can. What you got, Justin?
I was just gonna say we can end with this after you're done. I'll let you keep going.
Okay. Well, you can find all three of us at TGM Pod at all those places I said. You can also find us and send us an email with any suggestions or topics or feedback at gamemanagerspod@gmail.com.
That is Game Managers Pod.
I did a bad job of pronouncing that. Game Managers Pod.
Just wanted to clear that.
Also, be sure to subscribe for future content wherever you're listening. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a nice review if you do like the show. We also have T-shirts available at tpublic.com. You can check that out. Just look up the Game Managers Podcast. And we also will be uploading content to Patreon here soon. Maybe some live reactions to games. Maybe some breakdowns, stuff like that only patrons will have access to. It can be as little as $1 one-time fee, and you'll have access to all of that coming up soon. So
only $1.
$1. Just give us a buck. Chuck in a buck.
Chuck a buck.
Also, if y'all want to send us in mail, we'd love to see some fan mail, some nice handwritten letters.
Yeah, you can send those via carrier pigeon to Justin's house.
And okay, here's another good point though. Send in some questions. We'd love to answer your questions if you have it.
Yeah, please comment or email them to us. Tweet at us, whatever.
Ask us what's wrong with us. Tell us your opinion
tell us
on
how
the
much
jerseys.
we suck.
Yeah, tell us what you think about the jerseys. Who's your favorite?
Tell us what you think about the teeth. I would love to know about that.
Please tell me if you know anyone.
What would you do if you saw a seal? Have you ever encountered a seal? There's
do you
plenty
know
of interaction we leave open for you. Have you ever been to Texas State, Brazil? Is Lil Wayne one of your favorite artists?
Did you get in a lyric?
And I just thought about that, and I did not get in a lyric, and I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay. Next week we'll get that lyric in, and we'll see if me and Justin catch it. But yeah, let us know. Give us some topics and stuff. We'd love to have a little interaction. But I think that is it. Thanks again for listening. Do you guys have anything to say?
Sorry to interrupt you again, but I gotta let you in with this though. Y'all saw what Cam Newton was wearing the other night?
Oh, my goodness, I sure
man,
did.
You should not have mentioned
that. boy is...
We could talk about that for
Oh,
a
my
long
God, that's
time.
another 30 minutes
Okay.
we can add. He is...
We can just say this real quick.
Okay.
Someone said Cam Newton looks like the wolf disguised as grandmother in Little Red Riding Hood. That's all I got to say.
That's great.
Yeah. All I got to say is I got stuck with him on fantasy, and I'm absolutely...
All I've got to say is he needs to focus
No,
more
I'm
on
not
his on how he's playing rather than his style, because I think he's
Yeah,
spending
how
too much
stupid
time
he
with his
looks.
fashion.
How many times? I'm sorry, but like, because I don't want this to keep going. But like, how much do you think? Like, how much time do you actually think he takes getting ready after a game to go to that press conference
A lot.
to sit there and look like that?
Yeah.
Look like a fool. Yeah.
And I'm all for people expressing themselves however what they want to, but man, you need to
Self-awareness.
back that up with some wins.
Got to be some
Yeah.
self-awareness.
Okay, let's wrap this thing up though. Thanks again everyone for listening, and we will be back next Sunday.
Adios.
Peace out.